Hello, friends. How are you? Welcome. So, my name is Alyssa. This is my channel of New Direction. And this is a self-awareness reading / self-acknowledgement. So, this reading is being published around the 12th of January. So, it is a timeless reading. So, trust that when you do find it, it was the right time to find you. But it is the 12th of January when this is going out. So, actually, it's not the 12th. I think it's the 13th. So the 11th, it is the 13th. So the 11th of January was the new moon in Capricorn. It was January the 11th, so 111, which to me was just kind of very interesting that both the new moon and January 11th happened to be on the same day. I thought that was kind of an interesting way to really start the new year with the first new moon, a big powerful day like 111. I just thought it was such an interesting way to really begin the year. So saying that, as we know, our world is a little more scattered, I think, than what we're used to seeing it. And I know for myself, being an empath, that I have felt those energies within the imbalance of the world this week very heavily. It was something even from last week when everything kind of started to go haywire. Now we have all these new restrictions, within Ontario. And I really I am feeling that kind of heavy energy. And I thought, you know what? I know I'm probably not the only one. I felt very called to do this reading today. And so that is what we are getting into. We are going to look at a reading that is really much talking about this energy of accountability, okay, and how our energy, how we need to be accountable for certain energies within our being. So let's get into this. So we are going to start with the energy oracle. I'm hoping to pull a lot of cards today. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to go about putting these all out, laying them out quite yet, but we'll see. We'll go from there. Okay, so let's see. What is the energy at the current root of the issue here? Fifth chakra here, which is Archangel Gabriel, and this is about communication. This is really the energy of communicating whatever, Let's get another one here. And all tied up. Wow. Okay, so for some of us here, this is talking about a communication in which, we are feeling stuck. There's something that needs to be communicated here, but that we are unable to do so. This all tied up energy is like where spirit is illuminating the way forward. I don't know if you can see here, but there's these beautiful little butterflies, right? And they're calling. They're this calling to transformation here. And yet this girl here is still very bound by the vines, Something here, some sort of energy, some sort of communication energy here in which we are feeling stuck, in which there needs to be transformation. How is this energy affecting us? How is this energy here affecting us, Spirit? Wow, Goddess in the Moon reversed. Absolutely. It's throwing, there is some sort of imbalance here within our intuition. All right, let's see here. What is the energy of the past influence? What is energy from the past? Blossoming abundance, and carrying connections. Okay, unknown influence. What is the energy here of an unknown influence? What is the energy here? The unknown influence. Hostilities. And what is the energy here of the subconscious influence? The sun. Wow, look at that. Those are beautiful energies. Energy that you need to be accountable for. Energy here that we need to be accountable for. The sixth chakra. Wow, our intuition listening to the divine. Isn't that interesting? And change that accountability brings. What is the change that accountability brings? Action. Holy smokes. All right. The potential outcome here. For the highest good. The door to value. Okay. Well, that is a lot of energy. Look at here. So on the bottom of the deck, we have the yin and the yang, the seventh chakra, the fourth chakra in the healer of the ages. Wow. And victory. Happy family behind that, cornucopia behind that. Wow, those are some pretty solid energies. You see here, this is really the energy of listening to the inner voice, listening to the inner knowing. You know, the yin and the yang is this is our inner voice, our water essence, and then the yang is our fire essence, our action side of life. You know, and when it's upright like this is talking about, you know, going forward, listening to inner guidance, listening to the intuition, listening to the inner voice. You have the seventh chakra, which is right behind that. And this is the connection here to the divine, the connection to the higher. The crown chakra is speaking about our connection to divinity, the connection to whatever that higher looks like within our lives. And then the heart chakra right behind that with the healer of ages behind that. Like, wow, talk about a very powerful, you know, to me, this is really the energy of having faith and light. You know, this is the energy to me of connecting to a higher, connecting to whatever this healer of ages is. Oh, wow. Such a positive, strong energy there. Okay, so we are going to use the light seers, I think is what we're going to start with. So we're going to start with this fifth chakra. Let's clarify this fifth chakra and the current root of this. Wow, we have the Queen of Wands coming out for the fifth chakra. You know, and the Queen of Wands, look at this. This is the energy of speaking your truth. You know, I'm sorry, not embracing your truth, not speaking your truth, but embracing your truth. When it comes out to clarify here, this fifth chakra, the fifth chakra, as I was saying, is about communication, right? It is about speaking your truth, you know, speaking the light, right? Speaking your light. And this Queen of Wands is somebody who is very authentic to themselves. Okay, she's holding that staff above her head, and that is the lessons that she has inquired throughout her lifetime. Okay, that is the staff of what she has become. You know, those are her lessons. Those are the things she has overcome. You know, this here, you know, is that staff of life that she holds high above her head, because it hasn't been an easy, you know, it's almost as though she's hoisting it in triumph and being like, this is what I have become. This is who I have become from here. And it's interesting that she holds all of these way up above her head, and yet she's not even focusing on them. You know, that's all that she has overcome. That's all that she has powered through. But what she is focusing on is what she is glowing, what she is growing within her hand, what she's manifesting here. You know, and she's at peace. She's kind of like, you know, she's sitting here surrounded by these candles and surrounded by her cat. And she's, you know, focusing in on her inner light, and yet just very much focused in on what she is growing within her own manifesting powers. I love this energy here. You know, to me, this is about really communicating your authenticity, you know, communicating your passions, communicating what it is that you want to bring forward into this world, you know, because it is very important, especially when we're talking about this yin and the yang, right, on the bottom of the deck here. It's very important when we're talking about our inner knowing that we communicate the inner knowing. We communicate our inner voice, our inner authenticity, because nobody else can hear that, right? So it is up to us to be sure that we communicate ourselves effectively. Let's get one here for the all tied up. In this current energy. What is this all tied up energy here? Can you clarify this all tied up energy? The King of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, and the Nine of Cups. Wow. You know, in the King of Pentacles energy, I'm going to speak about that first, because it was the first one to really show up here. And this King of Pentacles energy is about making tangible change within life. You know, the King of Pentacles is an energy that shows up. Okay, they show up, they're determined, they're gonna make tangible change within their lives. Okay, King of Pentacles isn't gonna say, well, I want this, and just hope and wish that it comes to be. Okay, King of Pentacles is going to look at an energy or look at something in which they want in life, and then they're going to work their asses off to get it. Okay, they're going to make the steps to bring that into life, to bring that into fruition, because that is what the King of Pentacles energy does. They show up, they make tangible steps, okay? They are the go-getters here. And this is what this energy is talking about. You see, you have the Two of Wands and the Nine of Cups. And the Two of Wands is this change of direction. You know, it is about looking out on the horizon and being able to see two paths before you and acknowledging that you're going to have to choose one or the other. which path is going to serve you. And I love that the Nine of Cups came out with this, because this Nine of Cups energy is about emotional fulfillment. Nines are all about self. That's all about the self-reflection. And I love how that 9 came out in this self-awareness, self-accountability reading, right? This is about a reading about self-acknowledgement and being aware of our own energies, being accountable here for our own energies. And I like this because this is being accountable for the change in direction you need to find the happiness. Okay? This is about walking, like here, we're talking about this all tied up. You know, and as I was saying, the moonlight here is illuminating the way for this girl to see the transformation. You know, she knows that it is right in front of her. She's watched these butterflies, metamorphose into what they needed to become. They went from caterpillars to these beautiful butterflies. And the moonlight here is showing her the way forward. The moonlight here is showing her the changes needed. Just like this Two of Wands is. You know, here is this Two of Wands, and it is saying, look, the change needed is within inside of self here. The change needed is the accountability within your own emotional fulfillment. You know, if you are needing somebody else to make you happy, if you are needing somebody else to fill your cups, then you need to start there. That's going to keep you tied. Because there's no way that somebody else can fill your cups. That is a personal energy. That has to start with inside of self, right? And that's why this King of Pentacles is here. Because this is somebody who is going to make the steps to fill themselves. You know, they acknowledge, the King of Pentacles is going to acknowledge that there's a change needed here. They're going to acknowledge that they need to move themselves from this energy of being all tied up. And then they're going to make those steps. Okay, they're not going to wait around and be like, oh, well, I wonder who's going to, make this change for me. That King of Pentacles energy within you knows that you're the one who needs to make the change. You're the one that needs to shift this energy of feeling tied, of feeling bound, of feeling unable to shift something within your life. And again, there's that communication, right? So if you're needing to communicate how you need to, or how you need to feel whole with inside of self here, if you need to communicate those things to others, do it authentically. You know, this Queen of Wands, like sometimes the Wands energy and distorted energy can be very hot, very fiery, right? Like very temperamental. And this energy here is, you don't need to be temperamental. You can speak your authenticity with truth, with honesty, with love, okay? That Queen of Wands, she doesn't need to be angry. She's not being defensive here, okay? She's hoisting what she knows above her head, and she's continuing just to manifest what she knows, what she needs, what she wants, okay? She's not angry. She's certainly not defensive about it, okay? She's embracing it. All right, let's pull a moon card here as well for this energy at the root of the issue here. Card here for this current energy. Wow, nothing will come of this situation. Void of course moon. This is very interesting actually that this card came out, because one of my favorite readers, Cindy from Awakening, what's her channel? Awakening something. I'll link it somewhere. Anyway, she was doing readings this week on this card. All of her zodiac readings for the week were based off this card. And one of the things she mentioned within this card is the void of course moon. So the moon in a 28-day cycle goes through all 12 zodiac signs. And as it moves from one zodiac sign into the next, there is a period in which it's not influenced by the zodiac sign that it came from, and it's not yet influenced by the zodiac sign that it's going into. Now, this can be an hour, this can be a couple hours, it can be a 12-hour, a day span, whatever. It varies, but in between, being influenced by the sign it has come from and the sign it's going into is the void of course, where nothing will come of this situation, where that energy is currently not being influenced by any other outer energies. And I love that, because another one of my favorite readers, she had mentioned one other time that this energy of the nothing will come, the energy of the void of course moon is where, if you are wanting something, if you're desperately clinging to something, afraid that if you let go, it's going to just disappear. Well, that is true. That is the case, right? If you are afraid that what is for you is not going to be for you, then you will hold tightly. Then nothing is going to come of this situation because you are holding too tightly. There's a fear there. But if you do not have that energy, if you are open to allowing spirit just to allow it to be what it is, then you're in the energy of allowing things, and then there's nothing to worry about. You see, it's one of those energies that is very, it can be taken in very two, and it can be taken in very two different ways, but you have to reflect that back to yourself. Where do you sit with that energy? As this current energy here, where do you sit with that? Are you influenced from your past, or are you feeling influenced from your future? Are you holding tightly to something? Are you feeling tied within this? Are you holding tightly like this all tied up energy onto something that you need to release to allow it just to be what it needs to be? Because that's a big one. Oftentimes we get so hung up and so focused on holding on to what we think we need, and then we fear it. We fear allowing it just to be what it is. And that's what faith is, right? Faith is allowing that process to be what it needs to be. Okay? All right. How is this energy here? How is this current energy affecting you? Well, it was the goddess of the moon in reverse, and the goddess of the moon upright is a very intuitive energy. It's very connected. It's very divinely led, divinely guided. But when it's in this distorted energy like this, here we're looking at energy in which there's fear, in which there's a lack of faith, there's a lack of disconnection. And when we're in this, when this is our current energy, how this current energy can be affecting us is it's causing imbalance within inside of us. It's causing that fear, okay? Let's see here how this energy can be affecting us. How can this current energy be affecting us? Yeah, look at that. The goddess and the moon here in reverse, we have the Fool card that comes out. And the Fool is the energy of going forward. The Fool is the energy of beginning something new, being open-hearted, being free-spirited, going forward on this new path, embracing the dawn of the new day, okay? To me, this energy of, when we're imbalanced here, when we're afraid to communicate what it is that, when we're tied up, when we're not allowing ourselves to, breathe our authenticity, to live and let life be lived, right? Like when we're holding on again tightly, that's the fear, And this is what needs to shift here. How this is affecting us. It's affecting our free-spiritedness. It's affecting this energy of the new beginning. It's affecting the energy here of going forward on this journey. How is this energy affecting you here, Spirit? The Tower, yep. And what is so interesting about the Tower is oftentimes within the towers, you will always see lightning bolts. And the towers, the lightning bolts within inside the towers are spirit. And spirit testing the structures in which you have standing within your life. And it's not that spirit's going out to, destroy things just to destroy things, but these are the tests of time. These are the tests of the universe, the tests of life. And this tower is found wanting. This tower is found still unable to sustain what the universe is testing you. And that's why it needs to come down. Because oftentimes within our lives, we have multiple towers, that are built on beliefs or built on things that we have not yet grown to learn. Our souls have not yet learned what we need to learn. So therefore, the towers in which we have standing are towers that are not going to be sustainable. They're not going to sustain the test of times. They're not going to sustain the tests of the universe because they were merely building blocks. They were merely the stepping stones to, becoming who we are, becoming the powerful beings that we are, the structures and what we are actually going to create and build a solid life upon, right? And I like how these energies come out here, because the Fool is about new beginnings, and to go forward with new beginnings, as I was saying, we have to crumble, we have to allow what the universe has tested and has found wanting to be left. Okay, we don't need to take those things forward, and it's beautiful that this void of course moon still is here, right? Because this void of course moon is so much the energy of just allowing what needs to be, allowing yourself to be uninfluenced by the past and yet uninfluenced by the future. Being just allowing the universe to guide this part, you know, and that's very much the energy of the Fool. Because the Fool is kind of just this, like, she's surrendering herself here. She's doing the trust fall. She's allowing Spirit to really guide her forward here, you know, crumble the structures. How is this energy affecting? Let's get a moon card here for how this energy here is affecting. Conclusions are within reach. Wow. You know, and I feel like that's because this is the change that's really working here. You know, this is the change that is what's happening within inside of us, right? As we're going forward and we feel this energy of feeling stuck and tied, and we're doing the growth of self here, you know, there are conclusions within reach. I love that. Okay, let's see here. The past influencing energy was the blossoming abundance and the caring connections. My laundry is done. Past influence here. What is this? Can you clarify this energy of the past influence? The Ace of Cups and the Emperor. Wow. You know, for some of you, this is really going to be where you stepped in, you know, the past influence here with blossoming abundance and caring connections. For some of you, it can be, you know, the energy of moving forward with good relationships, you know, having a new beginning, embracing a new, you know, a blossoming abundance is about fulfillment. Okay. And that's going to be on a whole lot of different surface levels. It can be new work. It can be feeling full within inside of self, you know, especially with relationships here. It can be romantic relationships, platonic relationships, work relationships, friendships, you know, but connections here that are really fulfilling you. And the energy that came with this here was the Ace of Cups and the Emperor. And I feel like this energy of as past influence was where you accepted the cup of opportunity, but the cup of opportunity was embracing your own strength, was embracing your own Emperor power. For some of you, again, this can be a masculine within your life where, you know, some sort of cup was given to you, some sort of masculine energy really opened themselves up and embraced it. But to me, I'm really feeling like this past influence was where you accepted the cup of your own superiorness. You accepted the cup of your own emperor qualities, you know, where you took the emperor, control within your life, you know, where you stepped into that kind of fulfillment of self, I feel. I'm going to clarify that Emperor. Can we get a clarifier here for the Emperor Spirit? The Queen of Swords. Yeah, see, I kind of feel that's really what I was feeling. This, you know, this Queen of Swords is about clarity. It's about being crystal clear, understanding, you know, and that Emperor power, I feel like that's what you accepted. You know, as a past influence here, you took accountability for your own happiness. You took accountability for your own fulfillment. You know, you acknowledged that this Ace of Cups was only going to be yours if you accepted it. You know, that happiness, that fulfillment, those relationships that you're after, you acknowledged your role within them. Okay. You acknowledged, you know, your part within this and how your part was going to play, you know, whether or not those cups were things that you wanted it within your space or they were things you were going to let be, you know, and there's going to be certain cups and opportunities and, you know, that you had to accept or you didn't need to accept. You know, not everything is for us to take into our lives. And I feel like that's what this energy was. You know, as a past influence here, you just kind of got crystal clear on what it was that was going to make you happy. You know, on those cups and those opportunities, the blessings that you were looking for, what your Ace of Cups was. And that's by no means a selfish energy, you know, that the energy of you know, being crystal clear on what you need and being crystal clear on the things, you know, how that looks in your life. That's not, that by no means is a selfish energy. Okay. That's just being whole. That's being self-aware, right? I'm going to pull spirit animal for this past influence. Yeah, pig spirit, use your mind wisely. And absolutely, I feel like, especially, as a past influence here, yeah, you know, you really got crystal clear on the positiveness, because this Ace of Cups is oftentimes bringing in blessings. It's bringing in, like, that cup alone looks like a cup of happiness, right? Like, it really does. And to me, you were just, you called in those happinesses. It was almost as though you set your mind so clearly, you got so focused on being positive, on seeing the good in things, on seeing the good in people, and it wasn't necessarily that there was only good within your life, or that there was, all of this positive, abundance or positive relationships. No, but that's not necessarily the case. But you focused on the positiveness. You focused on the positiveness within side of self. You really did that self-awareness on, okay, if my mind is thinking this is what I'm going to get. I definitely, especially with that pig spirit there. And the Queen of Swords is somebody who is very strong within their thinking, okay? Swords are all about intellect. Swords are all about our higher thinking, And that is an energy that I feel you have greatly, it's not, sometimes it can be a very cold energy when it's in a distorted energy, but to me, in this upright position, in this past influence, you were just crystal clear, You knew where your mindset needed to be. You focused on the positive. I think that's what you cleaned up here. Maybe you've come from really thinking or allowing negative thoughts to be something. And I feel like that Ace of Cups was like, you were like, no, I'm going to focus on the goodness here. I'm going to focus on the light. You just took charge like that Emperor. You took charge of your own mind space, and therefore took charge of the blessings that came in. I really like that. So this unknown influence here was the energy of hostilities, which is kind of interesting to me. Let's clarify that. Let's clarify this unknown influence of hostilities. The Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands is about embracing our own light. The Knight of Wands can sometimes be a very egotistic. When it's in a distorted energy, it can be very egotistic. But the Knight of Wands is about somebody who embraces their own light, no matter the hostilities, no matter, like this girl kind of like, this guy looks like he's all defensive and ready to go to battle. And this girl's like, babe, just let it go. Like, it'll be fine. Like, embrace my own light and I'm just going to kick ass here. To me, that hostilities is really the energy of defensiveness. Wow, okay. All right, here we go. The Lovers. Okay. And I was wondering that because it was kind of, as much as, this energy of the Emperor over here, and these caring connections and these blossoming abundance, to me as a past influence, this Emperor almost felt very cold. Like, I'm embracing my own happiness. I'm embracing my own, steadiness and sureness here, even within relationships. But this Emperor to me was very much about embracing new opportunities, new love, and when hostilities come out here as an unknown influence, we have this Knight of Wands and then the Lovers, and this is about, to me, this is about where you had to embrace your own light. The Lovers, I mean, for some of you, this can be talking about, twin flame kind of loves, right? And lots of twin flames within us are going through separation periods, and really where we're having to do that strong reflection of self, really where we're needing to find that strong reflection within our own beings. And that isn't necessarily even just given just to twin flames. That is very much the energy within 2020 of relationships. It was about finding the inner light, about acknowledging the wholeness within inside of yourself in blendings of relationships, because the Lovers is such a beautiful blended energy. The Lovers is this energy of being entwined within each other, and not on just an emotional level, but on spiritual intimacy, on physical intimacy, it is such a true kind of love. It is about really that blending wholeness and the truth of self, not hiding from that truth of self, not trying to hide that truth of self. And that Knight of Wands is somebody who does not hide their truth of self by any means. They're somebody who really shows up solid to that truth of self, their authenticity, they scream it. Okay. It literally, you could probably smell it pouring from their pores, and that's this unknown influence here. It's about releasing the defensive-ness here, I find. Because I feel like there's been some sort of hostility towards your authenticity, and whether that was you defending yourself and being defensive of, okay, like, well, this is my true self, and if I go forward, people are going to be hostile, maybe even within this lovers, right, where somebody wasn't allowing you to be your true self, which therefore brought this energy of hostility, right? We have to be able to, I don't care what kind of relationship you are, whatever it is, but if you can't be authentic within that relationship, you need to sit down with yourself. You really do. You need to sit down with yourself and understand, do some self-reflection. Why are you putting yourself in a relationship in which you cannot be yourself? If we do that, if we're even within relationships in which showing our authenticity brings some sort of hostility out from somebody that we are trying to blend energy with, that is a real big red flag right there. I won't even sugarcoat that one. Because if you can't be yourself within a relationship, what the fuck are you doing in that relationship? Excuse my French, right? In order to find the true kind of love, in order to find this true blending of relationships, we must be able to be authentic. We must be able, and that's not just on the good days, it's not. It's about being authentic even within our shadow sides. It's about being authentic, in all aspects of self. This Knight of Wands isn't somebody who just shows up on good days. Okay, this Knight of Wands shows up on their bad days, on their good days, on all days. Okay, they just can't help it. They burn that light. They burn that authenticity. And the Lovers isn't going to be like, look at how well this blends. Okay, this is a love where when one is having a struggling day, the other one has the ability to hold space. There isn't one being overpowered here. That's not the case of this Lovers. As an unknown influence here with hostilities and then this finding light, it's about finding a love that is going to let you be true. Okay? It's not about a love that in which you are defending yourself. Okay, if that's what you feel in love, that you are constantly having to show up and defend your authenticity, defend your light, then you need to do a double check, because what you have is not this. Okay? I don't care what you think you have. It's not this. The Lovers is a true, wholesome, beautiful blended energy. It is about two energies allowing each other the space to grow, allowing each other the space to be themselves, And if you're in something that doesn't allow you to do that, please stop telling yourself that this is what you're in, because you're lying. And this is a reading of being accountable to self. Okay? This is a reading based on being aware. And we have to be aware of that energy. We have to be aware of the energy in which we are handing over our powers to others. Okay? In which others are being defensive and hostile towards our authenticity, because that's a pretty good clear sign. If somebody is being defensive and hostile towards your authenticity, well, then what are they doing in your circle? Because if they can't hold space for you, if they don't have love for you, an authentic being, then they're not meant to be in your circle. That's not a you problem, that's a them problem. You're authentic to yourself. If you're not being authentic to yourself, that's where that you problem stems from. But when you're being true and you're being authentic to yourself, if somebody has a problem with that, that is a them problem. That is not a you problem. Showing up to our authenticity is the most honest way of knowing how and who and the people that truly love us. The connections that are truly meant for us to grow. Okay? The connections that are truly meant to be fulfilling. They are the ones that are going to enjoy the authentic you. They are going to be the ones that soak it in, that can't get enough of that authenticity. Okay? People love people who are authentic. Okay? Hurt people hurt people. And that's what I feel with this hostilities card. Okay? Somebody who is going to be defensive and hostile to your authenticity is just out to hurt you. And they hurt you because they are hurting, but it's not your job. It's your job to fix you. It's your job to fix your hurt, right? All right, let's see the sun here. Wow, the sun here is the subconscious influence. And the sun is the most fulfilling card of the deck. It really is. It's about the happiness and creativity, fulfillment. Okay, this is a card of not feeling any sort of, not what's that saying? Not left wanting I can hear it in my head and it's not coming out. But the Six of Pentacles clarified that, because this is the Six of Pentacles is the energy of the law of attraction. What you put out is what you get back in, right? And that is this energy. Where you're putting out positivity, you will get positivity back in. Where you're putting out authenticity, you will get authentic love back in. Okay, you will get authenticity back in. Let's pull a clarifier. Let's pull a clarifier for the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles gets the Hierophant. Absolutely. It's this faith. It's a faith. The Hierophant is about connecting to the divine. The Hierophant is about connecting to higher energy, to divinity. The Hierophant is almost the energy of, connecting to divine on earth. Okay, it's our connection to the higher here on earth. And I feel like this energy of what you're putting out, it's that faith. It's the faith in the connection here. It's the faith in the happiness, in the blessings to come. I really feel like, even if you guys are going through this struggle, even if these, unknown influences and past influences are of you growing and of you embracing your own light, it's almost as though I know that this happiness is yours. It's almost this underlying energy where you feel it, you feel it. Your subconscious energy here is like, yes, there's more here. There's so much fulfillment here. And it's almost calling this energy, putting it out, putting it out, connecting, calling the divine, constantly calling in the blessings. Beautiful energy. I wanted to pull a spirit animal for those ones as well. I got distracted here. Let's pull a spirit animal here for the unknown influence. What message do you have, spirit animals, for that unknown influence here? Spirit has your back. Isn't that interesting? That's a beautiful energy to come out here with these hostilities, because, it's about embracing your own, the eagle doesn't fly with the flock. And again, about your authenticity, if you need to fit in with the flock here, you're not being authentic, right? If you need to fit in with the flock to find or to kind of appease whatever this hostile energy is here, that's not for you, okay? This is about flying on your own. This is about going above the crowd. Okay, soaring high above the rest. Spirit has your back, so don't fear, right? Wow. Let's get one here for the subconscious energy that's being influenced. Let's get a spirit animal message here for this subconscious. We have the hummingbird here, which is be here now. And the hawk, look at that. Let spirit be your guide. In the hummingbird energy, these cards have a protection message and an oracle message. And the hummingbird did come out in reverse. So I'm going to just kind of like refer here to the protection message of the hummingbird, because hummingbirds move their wings in such a fast motion, and they can go from here to there to here to there. But they can also hold themselves, in one particular spot, and those wings will move so super fast that you cannot even see where they are going. I really feel like the protection message here is to be present. Okay, don't allow yourself to get caught up going from here to there to here to there to here to there. Be here now. Focus on the positive energy, focus on the light. And again, with Hawk here, let spirit be your guide. And the Hawk spirit is all about seeing the bigger perspective, seeing beyond just what you're focusing on here, opening your eyes to see the bigger picture. Be here now. Wow. What a powerful message. Okay. All right, so I wanted to next look at this energy here that you need to be accountable for and what the change that accountability brings. And the energy we need to be accountable for here is our sixth chakra. This is our third eye. This is our intuition. This is our inner knowing, our inner guidance. This is, where we connect to that crown chakra, which was, connecting to the divine. The third eye is about being able to see through that connection, being able to see our way forward, being able to really, and I love it because why the change that this accountability brings here was action. And this is really where we're listening to our intuition. We're following, what we need to be accountable for here is following the inner guidance, following the guidance of the divine. Okay. And how that changes, how our accountability changes here is that action that's needed. Let's pull a clarifier here for this. Can we get a clarifier here for the energy that we need to be accountable for? We have something flip here. Wow, we had quite a few flip. Okay. We have the Hanged Man, the Judgment, wow, and the Three of Pentacles. Absolutely, look at that. And the Hanged Man and this Judgment energy, it's so beautiful that those two came out together. Because I was talking to my best friend today, and she brought up something. We were having this conversation, and she said, that I have the faith, I've been trusting, but I have not yet surrendered. And to me, that was just like mind blowing because that's totally where I've been in my energy space. We have this faith, just like this subconscious energy here. We have the faith. We know that by putting out that faith, by constantly putting out that positive energy, by, allowing spirit to guide us, it's that faith that we are moving forward in this direction. But are we surrendering to the timing? Are we surrendering to the divine of it? And this Hanged Man energy and this Judgment here is talking exactly about that. Here's the faith, and then here's the surrendering. And it's here again is the guidance. This is our inner knowing. This is the divine. Our third eye sees through our divine connection. Okay, that is what that third eye is seeing. That information, that guidance there, that is our clarity straight from the divine. And this is the energy of surrendering, allowing ourselves to be at peace within the state that we are at, allowing the universe, allowing spirit, allowing the divine to guide us in the state that we need to go next. And then the Judgment here is just the surrendering, allowing ourselves to find the peace here. It's about, okay, here I am. Like this is just full, these two energies to me, it's almost like just that full kind of like, submission is really what I'm hearing, to the divine guidance. And the Three of Pentacles behind that, because this is where we're building. This is where we're wanting to start this new cycle. This is where we're wanting to build some sort of solid foundation growing here. Going forward here, this is about building a new beginning, building a tangible new beginning, a solid foundation here for what is going to serve our future self, and the people that are within our future space energy. Absolutely. We have to be accountable to the changes needed within our own being. We have to be accountable to where we have not listened to our inner voice. We have to be accountable to how we trust the divine, and I feel in this energy here, when we're talking about what we need to be accountable for, it is our faith. It is our surrendering. Are we being faithful? Are we just having the hope? Are we being optimistic? Or are we truly surrendering? Wow. Such powerful energy there. Let's get an angels and an ancestors here for the energy we need to be accountable for. Wow. See beyond the current situation. Isn't that interesting? The seer, see beyond the current situation. And that's so interesting just because this third eye is about seeing beyond. It's about seeing past what we can see in our 3D. It's about having the faith. Holy smokes. We must be accountable for seeing beyond the situation. Okay, let's see here. Action is what this change of accountability brings. And let's clarify this action card here. Let's clarify this action card here, Spirit. Oh, wow. Death and rebirth. And the Eight of Swords. Yeah, because this is, the action of this accountability is where we remove ourselves from feeling stuck, where we remove ourselves, where it's this death and this rebirth transformation from going from being a victim, from being stuck in the old ways of self here, and seeing the movement forward, seeing the inner guidance, seeing the intuitive guidance now to move yourself forward. Okay, this is about embracing the whole new cycle of self here. Especially with this death and rebirth, because that death and rebirth is all about allowing the old to go so that you can become new, so that you can embrace this morning star, right? And I love that it came out with this Eight of Swords, because this Eight of Swords is where we have held ourselves victims. Here she is looking at a reflection of herself, right? And that's the illusions that we are trapped. And that often happens within life, but the action taken here, when you embrace this third eye, it removes the illusions, because it aligns you to see the divine guidance, which opens that space to the clarity needed, to see beyond the illusions. Wow. I'm hearing that so strongly right now. You're moving beyond illusions. The illusions are dying. You're rebuilding, rebirthing into this new being. That's the action step that you're taking. Wow. Wow. Let's get an ancestors, an angels and an ancestors for that one as well. Change. Let's get an angels. Dream and journey, the drum. And the drum is such a strong omen here. Dream and journey. My mind is blown. All right. So for potential outcome for the highest good, when we're accountable for the actions, for the change that needs to happen within inside of us, what is the potential outcome here for the highest good of ourselves? And that was the door to value, the door of value. What a beautiful energy, and this is about embracing that door to value is going to be, it's going to be different for everybody. You can see the golden city within there. You can see the money pouring out of these doors, the flowers, it definitely has financial gain to it for sure. But value, that door to value, that's beyond. I don't believe that it's just the financial gains here. To me, this is that, the lack of, the lack for nothing, right? Like that's that energy. Potential outcome here for the highest good. Well, that was a lot. Okay. Okay, we'll quickly just scoot on through these. Wow. Okay, yeah, look at that. The Page of Cups came out. These four came out together, and the King of Wands here came out. You see, the Page of Cups is about opening yourself up to new love, to new opportunities, to new blessings, to new emotional fulfillment, okay? Beautiful energy, beautiful space to be in. It can be talking about, that love that maybe you never thought was ever going to come back. It can be talking about that person maybe that you have been thinking of. It can be talking about new love coming in. It doesn't even have to be somebody that you know. This can be a very new kind of energy here. But to me, this is the energy of feeling full within inside of self, emotionally full within inside of self, We had the High Priestess with the Seven of Swords, the Devil, and the Five of Swords, and I love this. I love the way this high priestess blanketed these ones, because this door to value, going forward here with the highest, with the potential for the highest outcome. This is about the intuition. Okay, again, that third eye. This is about seeing through the illusions. Seven of Swords, very, very much about illusions, very much about being out in the dark space. You have the Devil card here, which is those low vibration toxic energies. And then that Five of Swords energy, which is very, it's about negative communication, very challenging, very conflicting, very much in the headspace. Absolutely. But I love how this energy here was the High Priestess coming before these. And then we have the King of Wands here, which is about, really being steadfast in self, really being secure within our own being, really being solid within who we are, within what we need, within where we stand. And I really enjoy how much masculine energy is coming out within a lot of these readings, because, 2020 I found was very much feminine, divine feminine, energies, where the divine feminine energy within us was constantly bringing forward these changes, was constantly bringing forward, our divine feminine was like, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to do this. And within the last couple of readings, I have noticed the masculine energy within us is starting to take form. And that's beautiful, because that's where we start to make action steps. That's where we're really starting to shift our action steps. Where before, I think in the past, we have gone forward and our divine masculine energy has not been connected to the divine feminine. And I feel that that's changing within a lot of these readings. There is a lot of masculine energy coming forward, but our drive and our change and our direction is now more than ever influenced by that divine feminine energy within inside of us. I really feel that. We're going to pull a clarifier here for this King of Wands energy. Wow, the King of Wands gets the Justice, absolutely. And this, again, as I was saying, this is about us embracing, this energy, this solid King of Hearts energy within inside of our beings. This is about where we take the steps. When we align ourselves, we take the action steps to what our heart is calling us. When it is just, when it is liberated, when it is exactly for what we stand for. Okay? That is what embracing this King of Wands energy is about. It is about embracing the balance of self. It is about, being true to our own morals, to our own standards, to what we are holding ourselves accountable for, right? Interesting. Very interesting. All right, let's get a couple moon cards here for this potential outcome for the highest good. Adjustments are required. Absolutely. We already knew that. This, as I said, this reading is about accountability and where we needed to be accountable for the actions that need to shift through here. Look at that. Work through your fears. Absolutely. New moon in Scorpio. And then a new start is coming with the new moon. Isn't that beautiful? Especially with that new moon energy that has just passed. Wow. Okay. I think we're going to finish off here with a She Who, the LQ deck. We are. And this is just really an energy to go forward and embrace here. The energy of self-accountability here that we are being asked to go forward with. Wow, Hannah, she who listens, understand, witness, and compassion. And Mapetula, she who guides, new path, guide, renewal. The energy here of Hannah is about, being able to, Hannah is this energy here where you can tell your secrets, you can tell your woes, you can, this could be a safe friend in which you are confiding in. It can also be the energy of where those who confide in you. and keeping their secrets, honoring those secrets, honoring that confidence within you. All right, let's see here. I'll read these. So Hannah, she who listens, leans forward so you can quietly tell her all your stories, the delight-filled ones as well as the sorrow-filled. She invites you into her tent for privacy. You will not find judgment when you sit with her. This is one person who can take what you need to dish out. Her colorful clothes reflect the spectrum of emotions as they change according to each person's feelings. Purple is for passion, while the soft gold is for sorrow. Do not fear interruption from this compassionate soul. She understands how important it is to be heard. This is her calling in life. Making sure the untold stories are brought forth is her mission in life. She bears witness to all that is. Hannah invokes the meaning compassion in Hebrew. Hannah calls for you to unburden yourself. There are many ways we can communicate our stories. Allow a compassionate friend to bear witness to your revelations. You might start a journal where you write everything down. Don't avoid the ugly parts. Don't gloss over the good. Lay it all out. Let your inside self needs a chance to release. Let those tales be spun. Questions to ask yourself is, who will listen to me without judgment? What tales of mine need telling? And how can I best release the story of my inner self? Wow, I love that energy. And let's look here. Metula, she who guides, adorns herself in the palest colors. Her name means pale in Tagalog. Even her hair shimmers in the shades of silver, white, and gray. Blue ribbons match her eyes, which gaze back at you. On her shoulder perches a small bird, perhaps a long-tailed cousin of the infectious nuthatch, who is known for leading the way headfirst down a tree. Bells dangle from Metula's shoulders. Bells call us to so many things. She wears them as a reminder of the beginning notes of the day. She brings renewal as her gift. If you watch and listen, she may show you a new path to take. Metula is your guide who leads the way. The message of this card is to look for a new path. Stop for a moment to consider the course of correction. Listen for the sound of the bell in the song of a bird, a laugh of a child, or even a call to worship. Promise yourself you will make time for renewal. By honoring yourself with space and quiet, you will be able to more easily recognize the guideposts you do not need to follow. The moment is not for action. Even the nuthatch must pause for a moment to locate the next tree. The questions to ask yourself here for this one is, in which ways am I open to guidance? Where am I heading now? And how do I change that? What can I do today to give myself space and quiet? What beautiful, beautiful energies here. She who listens and she who guides. Well, my friends, what a beautiful reading. I hope you enjoyed this. All right, take great care until next time. Bye now.